We're live.
Warning, we are now live on YouTube.
No, it won't. The driveway runs through parking, it's only gonna be about 20.
Alrighty, I want to call the meeting to order. All the aldermen are present, along with Melissa Martin, our clerk, and our attorney, Rocky Eaton. If we could, I'd like to ask Craig Bullock for our invocation and lead us in the pledge.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for the honor and the privilege to be here. God, we thank you for each citizen who's here and for what they represent to our city. And God, we value their thoughts, opinions, and God, we ask for your guidance as we meet tonight. And we try to make the wisest decisions for the best interest of the entire city. God, forgive us where we fail you. Forgive us where we put ourselves ahead of doing things for your glory. And I pray that as we meet, God, that we will do just that everything we do and say and think will be to honor you. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the addition of the proclamation honoring Law Enforcement Week? Got a motion and a second. All in favor? All right, is there a motion to accept the consent agenda? Is there a second? All in favor? All righty, public comment. All righty, James Madison. Come on up here.
How y'all doing this afternoon?
Good. How you been doing?
Just like the lady that just walked through here.
Yeah, some people tell me what you look like. I don't know. But I'm here on this denying the rezoning of Springfield Road. I don't know if all of y'all go down Springfield Road or not. It's a little quiet little community. We try to keep it that way. But I'm here because I'm opposed to the rezoning. If you've been down Springfield Road, little offshoots, there's probably 35, 37, 38 homes out there. Some across from the millwork, some next to it, some on the other side of it. And probably about $726,000 worth of assessed property out there. Not all of them are all of it's homes, some of it's just land. But we pay property taxes just like everybody else in the federal. We spend our money that we earn at the locations here down at the restaurants, the grocery store, and the majority of the people out there are opposed to the rezone. I told Skipper when we were in here at the planning committee, I don't think anybody minds that the shop stays there. We just don't want the property rezoned. Because once you make one thing commercial, next thing you know, somebody else is going to want property commercial. And it's supposed to be a residential area. That's the one thing that the city of Pelican got right when they annexed us. I didn't want to be annexed, but I got annexed. And the one thing that you did right was you zoned it residential.
Hey, wait a second. I got annexed too now.
Yeah.
Just
And, I got a tax bill out of that deal. And so, but that's the one thing that you got right. And
you did not get the Christmas cards, what you're saying.
I didn't get the Christmas card and a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But you didn't get it right when you zoned it residential, which is what it is.
That is number 12, and obviously everyone knows this. That was the
And so,
recommendation from the Planning Commission, and we always appreciate the Planning Commission's due diligence on matters of this nature.
But that's the only reason I'm here. I'm just asking you to leave it zoned the way it is.
Awesome, good deal, James. Appreciate you, buddy. All righty, Libby. Hey, come on up here. How you doing today?
I'm good. How about everybody?
Hey, Mr. Miller, how you doing today?
What's going on?
Good. I have something, I do have a handout. I'm not sure I have enough for all of you.
Could you share?
But if you wanted to pass it
Somebody
around. I'm here representing the Palo Arts Council. Some of you may know that. As part of the Downtown Beautification Committee, which was recently formed, the Palo Arts Council has taken the lead in development of murals in
Thank you.
Kettle. A mural selection committee has been created consisting of Arts Council board members, Chamber of Commerce representative Valerie, City of Kettle representative Mr. Charles Kennedy, a member of the community, Mrs. Nadine Day, and the owner of the building. After much discussion, the back of the strip mall adjacent to Walgreens parking lot which is the back of Smokies and where Dollar Tree used to be. It's the back of that building. Was a prime location to begin this beautification project. It's going to, as you can see, it be a welcome to downtown Kettle, explore downtown, that type of thing. Mr. Rowell, Rocky Rowell, the owner of the building, has given us permission to paint the mural. And Jody Brixton has designed this mural that you see there. It is a draft because there are a couple of little tweaks she's going to make to it. One of them will be, she will change a little bit of it so it'll have more buildings kind of in the background, so it will look more like downtown and not the park lot.
Yes, ma'am.
But it will be basically that design. A muralist has been contacted and Jody will assist in the painting of the mural. Local businesses have donated the cost of the paint and the cost of the base coat. The remaining cost of $6,000 will need to be raised before the painting can begin. This is very reasonable cost for a mural of this size, which is 14 feet by 110 feet. Also included in the cost is payment for the designer who has given many hours to this project to satisfy the mural selection meeting. Also, I have to say that we're also speaking with Walgreens to get an easement for that portion of his parking lot for when the painter, the muralist comes to paint. And then also it will be the type of mural that people can take a picture of or stand in front of as part of that. So we're discussing that with him as well. The Pettle Arts Council has not received the 501c3 designation yet. So the committee proposes to use the city's Pettle Public Improvement Project Fund to deposit donations and pay the cost for this mural, specific mural. We're also asking the city for a donation that will kick off our fundraising efforts. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions.
Any question, guys? Ms. Libby, I appreciate the effort on this. I hope we can find a way to, as a community, get this project heading down the road a little further, but I appreciate your work on this.
We've businesses, that have done murals for them. This will be for the community. It will be a community improvement.
I have a weird question. I'm
Yes.
trying to picture that wall. I'm having trouble, and I'm kind of rewinding as we talk, so I kind of drift into that. Is that wall not straight?
Well, it's only gonna be painted, Smokies is like an addition that was added, I guess, after the.
It's not flat. It's
Oh, it's
corrugated.
corrugated?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're aware of that.
Okay. And you're just gonna paint the corrugated metal. Okay.
And it will start, Smokies, there's a division there, and I think there's air conditioners and doors and things that go with the Smokies part of the
She
building.
asked permission to
So
use
it
our
will
account.
start there,
Oh, yeah.
and then goes for them,
That's
to
a Melissa question.
can go toward Logan.
I understand your picture shows that really
Y'all
very
can
well.
vote to
I'm
allow
just trying to picture the
to
effect on the.
to start
corrugated
that.
metal.
To the chamber as well.
Well,
Chambers already
like
told
I
me,
said, that's,
Valerie already called
the
us.
designer was aware.
You got, and I don't know art, so I just want to make sure y'all consider it.
Ms.
Yes.
Libby, was you asking, do you
Don't you
need
think they
permission
should
to
probably
use our account?
Vote to allow them to.
Or,
Well, I will
I've got a
ask-
problem.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I
Allow us to spend money on that.
No, we're saying.
No,
Collect money.
that's my question.
It's the same
thing as.
The improvement
Claims on
fund,
private property.
Yeah, I have a problem with us spending public funds on private property.
I think you're
Uh,
They
saying
until we have-
won't use our account.
they're just using
The 501c3.
Yeah, to deposit the money in.
if a business wanted to get
That's my
something.
only question, that can we legally do that?
I mean, I can't
It's
think of
kinda
a
like-
problem right now. I mean, if we're
Yeah,
accounting
like when
for it-
Mississippi Power gave us that grant, we put it in the Pella Public Improvement Fund, and then we dispersed it out to the businesses. You
Yeah,
know?
so we weren't using public funds.
No.
Right,
So
yeah.
I'm okay.
No, it's not public funds, it's just a public account, kind of.
Yeah, right now, off the top of my head, it does sound okay.
We can't pay.
I'm making a motion, we let them use the account and unless Rocky can find some reason we can't.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
And last thing, maybe I forgot, isn't Mississippi Power helping us with power, lights and off and off, to get it focused down? So that's what we're working on.
Yeah,
today.
we had talked about that. I don't know.
So at night, it would also be able to illuminate lights. That's happening, after dark night, so you want to.
I actually understand. Okay.
So we'll get the word out and you can drop off your check or money to this account. We'll get it rolling.
Are we,
Absolutely.
but we
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
we
you.
can't do it anyway.
What?
So
We
much
can't
still
do it
costs.
anyway.
What?
The private money going into that.
Oh, no.
We can't pay that.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
Miss
private-
Jordan.
The private money.
Yeah, come on up here. I don't got my long glasses on, so I can't. That second row's a blur.
I have mine. Good afternoon. Mayor, Alderman. My name is Louise Jordan, and I live on Springfield Road, and I've lived there all my life. And this, I'm a 13, I'm here to pre-state how I feel about it. Everybody wants to come in on Springfield Road and do whatever they want to do. That's my home. I would love to keep it home and private, feel community. And when we get in businesses, industrial, we want to change it to that. It becomes not our home, it becomes everybody, whoever wants to come. So I'm requesting you all to consider that is, everybody that live on Springfield Road, that's our home. And we're kind of a quiet community. We don't give no trouble unless somebody trouble us. But I'm asking you all to consider, how would you feel? Somebody wants to come in your community and take over. And how would you feel? That's your home. I've lived there all my life. That's my family home. So I'm asking you all to please consider how you would feel if someone came in there and wanted to change that. I don't want to change. Actually, if it wasn't, we were in the rule when Skipper got the place. So he did it when we didn't went looking. So the thing about that is we don't want to change anything now. He's there, he's fine. He just doesn't give us any problems, but he has another guy wants to buy it and he wants to expand, which he should have investigated before he did all that. And so I'm saying to you all, if you all would consider not changing, just take in consideration how you will feel if that was happening to you in your community. And that's all I have to say. That's my home. Don't change it.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan.
Yeah, thanks, Miss Jordan. All righty. Judge, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are
Hey,
you?
why don't you come on up here and talk to us?
Hey. How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic. How you
I'm a
doing?
little happy.
Oh, good.
It's a fake job.
Ah.
It'll work for tonight.
Well, he needs-
This is- Hey, I agree with you. Thank
Quieter
you.
than the other one. I'm gonna give y'all one of these. And, you pencil it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll give y'all some. I wanted to just come tonight to introduce myself to you guys. My name is Gay Hope Payton, and I am making it my business to introduce myself to the governing boards of Forest and Perry counties because I'm running for circuit judge in Forest and Perry County. And I just want to introduce myself to you guys, let you know a little bit about my qualifications, my credentials, where I come from, and what I plan to do. I'll make it very brief, but I am born and raised in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I was born at Forest General Hospital. in 1968. And I went to Hattiesburg High School, so, you know, Pedal High was my rival. But that's all right. That's all right. We can all get along. I have been practicing law for 25 years in this area. I left for a little while to be assistant dean at Ole Miss Law School.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I had a lot of fun doing that. I got to recruit all over the country. And have been a justice court judge for Forest County for the last 10 years. And I've been a municipal court judge for the city of Hattiesburg for the last 3 years. I've spent time as public defender for the Forest County Circuit Court and for the Perry County Circuit Court. I was also on the inaugural team that started the drug court in 2003. So I am prepared to take over the drug court should I win this position. That's my forte. That's one of the reasons why I'm running for place one, is because I want to have an impact on the drug court. I mean, that program is amazing and it has so much potential, and I feel that the potential is just untapped. And I want to tap into its potential and let it be all that it can be. And I wanted to introduce myself to you and the people of this community and see if y'all had any questions for me. I'm going to be running around here a lot over the next few weeks campaigning, because I like to spend time in the communities that I'm going to. You know, I preside over part of this community as a justice court judge, because the things that are outside the city limits come over to justice court, and when they can't get Mike on the phone, sometimes cops call me for a warrant. So, and I don't mind doing that. I love serving my community. People ask me all the time, as a judge, like, you deal with the craziest stuff. Like, how do you do that? I said, it's a calling. Just like being a preacher is a calling, being a doctor is a calling, you know, being a policeman is a calling. If it's not your calling, you're not gonna do it right. You know, you will fall into a trap of assembly line justice. That's something that I will never do, because the Constitution just means too much to me. And I just feel that this community needs a judge, a circuit judge, who understands the civil and the criminal laws that protect our citizens, but who also understands the Constitution, which is meant to protect criminal defendants who are also citizens. So we can't get put into the trap of assembly line justice and get to a point where we don't care about the people that we are sentencing. I can give you a short example. When someone goes into drug court, they are asked to write a 10-page paper on where they see themselves in 10 years. When someone is charged with capital murder, they have a bifurcated trial, which means that there's a guilt phase and there's a penalty phase. In the guilt phase, you determine whether or not that person is guilty of that crime. And then in the penalty phase, you determine whether or not that person should get the death penalty or whether they should be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And so my question is, if you're gonna bring in mitigation experts, psychologists, school teachers, school records, mama, daddy, all that, to find out how somebody got to the point of committing capital murder, why don't we want to know that about somebody who has a drug possession, or somebody who has an armed robbery, or somebody who has an aggravated assault? My question is, what about the 95% of people in the middle? I want to know every defendant the same way we know a person who is charged with capital murder, because I want to know how they got to the point where they committed that crime. And we need to know that about every crime, each time, every time, so we can fix it. I'm working now with the youth court over in Forest County, through municipal court and through justice court, dealing with truancy, because a lot of it stems from truancy. When I was public defender, the judge would ask them, how far did you go in school? The average age was 9th grade. So they're quitting school, hanging out with older kids who aren't going to school. The next thing you know, they're in a gang. Next thing you know, they picked up a weapon, committed a felony, and they're certified as an adult. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you pick up a weapon and commit a crime, you're grown in the eyes of the law. Next thing you know, they're looking through the system and they're a habitual offender by the time they're 21. We also need to make sure that our civil system is working correctly. I have practiced administrative law, workers' comp, employment security law, disability. I've done all of that. All of those come, if there's a problem with it, it gets appealed to circuit court. Personal injury, medical malpractice, all of that comes to circuit court. So we need to make sure we have a conscientious docket that moves efficiently. And I think that I am well equipped. I have a master's degree in business. I am well equipped to keep it working like a well-oiled machine. And I'm ready to take on this position, and I would appreciate your consideration and your vote on November 8th. And if there's any questions that anybody has of me at any time,
that was my only question. I knew it was November, but I wanted everybody to know.
Yes, sir, November 8th. There's no primary because it's a nonpartisan judicial race, so there's no primary. Does anybody have any
And
questions?
that's be the only thing that's on, isn't it? Just the
judge.
judge.
No, actually,
The following year we did the county.
The senators will be on with us
Okay.
in the fall. It'll be the Chancery County and circuit judges,
Okay.
and then the senator race.
Okay.
And then next year will be the justice court
County.
judges, the
Okay.
sheriffs, the city council, not the city council, but the board of supervisors and all of those.
Awesome. Awesome. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of, I mean, it's a long time, but I mean,
Yeah.
we got a little city that we campaign in, and these folks that
That's
run these
right.
countywide races, I don't know how you get
I got
around, but
two
I
counties.
like the hustle. Yeah. Yeah,
Two
Perry County
counties.
too. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when I was running for a justice court judge, I only had to win 25%
Yeah.
of Forest County.
Yeah.
And I lost 24 pounds. I'm just praying that God sees fit to let me lose a little weightage.
Awesome. Any questions, anybody? November, what'd you say, November?
November 8th.
November
It'll be the
8th.
First Tuesday, in November.
November. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, let
Awesome.
me make a recommendation.
Yes,
When you
sir.
go and speak and everything, you need to have your walk-up music as you sing in the.
Hey, you know, when y'all did the pledge, whenever y'all do the pledge, y'all want me to come sing the national anthem, just let me know. Cause you know, I can handle this crowd. I handled 6,500 last week when Ole Miss played
Yeah, we
USM
know.
in baseball.
Hey, you can do this. Look at that camera right there and right up here on the top of the ceiling right here.
Uh-huh.
And you are on YouTube right now.
I you
Yeah.
Awesome. Judge, thanks so much for visiting
All
with
right,
us.
any questions? Is that, no?
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all so much for having me. All right, y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
See, we can have a little fun in our meetings, right? A little bit. Now let's get to the business part of this. All righty, proclamations and resolutions. A request to adopt a resolution naming Tony Ducker and Steve Stringer as MML 2022 voting delegates. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Is there a motion to request to adopt a proclamation for Law Enforcement Week, which will actually be observed tomorrow at 10 o'clock at the Lake Terrace Convention Center, I believe. Is there a second motion and a second? All in favor? And all righty, no old business, no bids and quotes. General business, number 4, request to adjust water services bill to 207 Old Richton Road in the amount of $264 and sewer in the amount of $126 due to a leak.
I'll make a motion. I did see that there was a repair made.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Did they sign their?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, Steve. All in favor? Number 5, request to adjust water services bill to 139 West Cherry in the amount of $186 due to a leak.
Motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second. It seems to be the same situation.
They also signed it.
Yeah. Melissa,
Yes.
answer the Alderman when he's speaking to you. All in favor? Number 6, request to renew the maintenance and support agreement and
I'm about to die.
what are you doing?
My computer's
Oh.
about to die. We've been in here too long.
Okay, number 6, request to renew the maintenance and support agreement with Mountaineer Computer Systems for AccuFund support. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor? You ready?
Yeah.
You good now?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Can you hold up on anything?
Go.
Number 7, request to accept the resignation of Kelly S. Colt from the Planning Commission effective immediately. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Hey,
Um,
Tony, is that
That's
your,
mine.
okay, you got anybody in mind?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8, request to accept the engineering agreement with the Shalls, Dearman, and Waits for the 2022 street overlay. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
And, oh, go ahead. You got something or you want me to say?
Mayor, can you talk us through? 'Cause
The process, the process basically is this. This allows John to get deeper into the weeds and prepares us to probably maybe back end of June, 1st of July to put this thing out to bid. That's when the rubber meets the road, is when we get the bids back and we'll know if we've got a little extra money or we need to cut a few roads. So this starts that process.
You say had a few roads?
Well, we always hope to. And it's a harder punch for them to hit right now. Hopefully what they're doing though, and I'm sure they are, but some of the roads obviously are going to be more than the $116,000. We used to pave a mile of road for $90,000 to $100,000. Now it's gone up to around 115, 116. And if I handed them a contract today to pave a road, any of the big producers, they would tell me they'll see us next spring, but we got to go ahead and get in line. So that's the process of what we're doing. By the time next spring hits, we'll end up processing what will be the biggest paving project that we've done in the last more than a decade. So that'll be a pretty big thing. And then we hope we can get in a schedule to do a little bit better. Hopefully the prices come down a little bit too. But anyway, we're moving into a season where we can have a few more resources and allocate them to get some of these roads done. And I know what everybody just heard on YouTube or wherever is, my road's gonna get paved next week. Nope. Hopefully, if we can do it just from the backlog of all the stuff going on, we'll probably get to it next spring, but we've got to go ahead and do the front end of the work so you'll at least be able to anticipate some stuff. Hopefully by August, we'll know if we need to cut some roads or we can add a few roads. So we'll see. But obviously this board and administration is being very diligent about getting some of those stuff. But I think we all know we're playing catch up in this arena. So we're gonna work hard to make that happen. And over the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, I think we'll be in a lot better position. But
And again, Mayor, that 116,000 is simple 3-inch over.
yeah, that's not even a road. That's in
no
a
gutters. That's just one lane, one way,
Yeah.
lane going to as simple as it gets.
You go down Miss Ada's Road, your road's gonna be more than 116. Morrow Road, a lot more than 116. But anyway, we're working through that process now. So anyway, look forward to getting some of that done. We got a motion, got a second. All in favor? Okay, number 9, request to pay Warren and Warren Asphalt Paving LLC estimate number 3 in the amount of $19,472.63 per Shaw's Dearman and Waite's recommendation. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Discussion on this.
Okay.
You know, they're about 80% based on the stats, and, you know, we just drive them out today. I know they do a lot of dirt work, but, you know, it's a time issue right now. And
They got about 3
starting 1 June,
About 3 weeks.
yeah, we expect
2
to
weeks.
see damages, because like I said, there's a penalty for not finishing. We gotta have that done by July for the kickoff for Josh, help me out, kickoff of baseball. Baseball season. Yeah. Baseball, big tournament. Yeah.
There's a lot of dirt sitting over there, Josh. Kind of
Just
scary
to say.
right now.
It's a lot more dirt being moved every day.
That's our dirt now too, by the way. So we'll end up having to get rid of it or.
And just for clarification, this is repaving of the ball complex down off of Hillcrest.
Across from the Y.
And they're still saying June 1st will be doing
They feel confident about that?
it. Well, the way they're saying with the asphalt coming in, they'll be done quick. Maybe by this Friday, that first parking lot with asphalt done, maybe early next week.
Okay.
Awesome.
With that one parking lot, not with the whole project.
Already got a motion, got a second. All in favor? Number 10, request to grant conditional use allowing operation of a storage facility on West Central Avenue per the Planning Commission's recommendation. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was way too easy.
I
I didn't even say nothing. I was fixing to start asking for discussion, but anyway, appreciate you getting in there and
Thanks, Ron.
doing that and investing in our community. Number 11, request to grant variance on setback to enlarge current dwelling at 121 Pine Street per the Planning Commission's recommendation. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? All righty. Number 12, request to deny the zoning change from R1 to I1 for property located at 65 Springfield Road per the Planning Commission's recommendation. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Is it a motion to deny?
A motion to deny.
Second for discussion.
Second for discussion. Go ahead.
I'd like to at least hear from the owners.
Jeremy?
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. You guys. Do I speak or y'all speak? I'm not sure.
No,
Go
go ahead.
ahead, this is, we're on.
Your podium. All right. Guys, I think everybody's aware of Ash Millworks. We've been there a long time. 1991, that's when Skipper built Ash Millworks, a long time ago. 30 years ago, when we built the place, we built it to manufacture quality cabinets, millwork. We've been doing it long. Product millwork, capitals, colleges, libraries, offices, all kinds of places. We believe in quality, we believe in good product, we believe in community. These are things that are important to us. Seeking this rezoning for multiple reasons, but the biggest reasons are, if something were to happen to my building, I would not be able to rebuild it. My business would be lost, all the money, all the effort, all the time would all be for naught. Besides that, with the building being zoned residential, when we bought the business, we purchased it as an asset sale. We bought the equipment, we bought the name, we didn't buy the building. I didn't hear this in front of all right, so we bought the assets, we bought the equipment, we bought the name. We didn't buy the building. We couldn't afford it at the time. But now we've been renting the building and the rent's killing us. It's a triple net lease. We got to pay for all the property tax. We got to pay for all the insurance, all the upkeep. And anybody who knows anything knows that if you're renting, you're not building equity. And it's higher. One good thing about renting most of the time is the landlord fixes all your stuff. Well, in my case, the landlord doesn't fix anything. It's in my best interest to buy this building to lower my overhead. All right? I can't buy the building if it's zoned residential. I need it zoned appropriately for the building. Now, in 2003, Petal annexed that whole area of Springfield Road. And in 2003, it was already an industrial property. Three-phase power, building and manufacturing equipment. A lot of those houses behind us moved in afterwards, knowing that we were an industrial property. That being said.
What? Go ahead. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
What did you say, guys?
I was just saying that some of the houses that moved in behind us.
How many acres do you have there?
3.5.
Okay.
3.5 acres is what we got. As far as expanding, our building takes up all that 3.5 acres. I got barely enough room for my employees to park. We're not expanding anywhere. We're not changing anything. What we're trying to do is be zoned appropriately so that we can make Ash Mill Works continue to be the success it's been for the last 30 years.
So my understanding of this property, based on what you just said, is it was zoned residential and it's grandfathered in. So it is a building, the non-conforming use, and it is allowed to continue that use until its use is terminated or the building is destroyed, and it costs more than 50% of the building's assessed value at the time of its construction. Okay. That law is there to protect the residents.
Okay.
Because if something were to happen to that building, they don't want you to rebuild it as an industrial, especially as an industrial building. That's what that ordinance is there for, is to protect the people in the city. And that's why annexation is a double-edged sword. It's supposed to be in the benefit of the residents, in my opinion. And our ordinance even says that its purpose is to protect residential properties from this kind of thing. And you're actually saying you do want to stay in the letter that you gave. That is what you explained.
I don't want to expand the property size. I don't want to expand the building. I don't want to expand the footprint. I don't want to expand.
Is that your dirt area back in the back behind you? I'm just looking at.
No, sir.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And then my other concern is, if this does get zoned as industrial and you leave, or eventually we all die.
Right.
What may come later? Because industrial, if you read the list of things that can be built on an industrial property, there's nothing more by your house. And I know that because before I was on this board, that happened to me. And the train fell over because of that decision. And I don't like that.
Generally, when the city annexes an area and it contains a business, what's the
For the annexation process,
Right.
it would be that business can run and operate as it is at that moment, unless the building is destroyed or it's conditional.
They
It would be
zoned
its use
all.
is discontinued.
There is no zoning.
So any additional business that y'all annex in the future would face the same issues that I face here now?
Yes, and that's why it's prudent for those people to come before the board during the annexation process and say, this is a big deal to me. I needed to get something right.
I wish I had the place in 2003. Skipper didn't even know how it was on when we asked him about it, when we started discussing it.
The county basically didn't have zoning, and what happens when you got brought in, it just became R1.
Mhm.
So at any point from then until now, there could have been this request.
But we actually had sent out notices, correct me if I'm wrong, we sent out notices at the time to allow those business owners to petition our planning commission to change that zoning, and Skipper didn't do that. So but I mean, to emphasize the point that he made, the purpose of the zoning is to protect property values, and it isn't just, for these guys, it's to protect their residential values. And if you've got a business that's in a commercial zone, then our zoning helps the commercial businesses, because we want to be in, people don't want to live next to an industry, and people don't always want to be next to a business, and likewise, sometimes business don't want to be next to residences. That's why the city has zoning. And we're in a weird situation that lots of cities face, but it's a weird situation because we've had to acquire land that had no zoning.
Mhm.
And that had inconsistent uses. And that's something that the city has faced since its incorporation in 74. And we still have non-conforming uses that go all the way back to 74. We deal with it all the time.
One is single family.
So that's just it from the legal point of view is it came in as R1 and he didn't take advantage of the opportunity to change that zoning when he could.
And that being said, it being R1, just to let everybody know, that's single family dwelling, obviously. So that is really the only thing that could be built there.
Well, I gotta ask you the consequences
rebuild, yeah.
of not rezoning it. If you don't rezone it, and I can't purchase the building, but I want to continue to operate the millwork, eventually it would lead to me to move. Now, that's very cost prohibitive for me, moving is not a good idea. But a cheap enough value in a place where zoned appropriately.
At some point, you got to
it'd
act
be
in the best
something that I
interest.
could look at, but that leads y'all to the giant residentially zoned commercial building.
Sure. Well, when you're gone, then the next use will be residential after you're gone 6 months. That's how that works.
All right.
I mean, it's unusual. I think that this is the only situation that I know of in the city at this time, and wasn't even aware until this came up that was still zoned that way, which you neither probably. But unfortunately, as they say, here we are.
I mean, a possibility is owner financing for you. I mean, if he owns it outright, at least to own, you're still acquiring fee simple title to that.
But once again, I'm still left with
later.
in the event of a
Of course, you're gonna do
tornado,
the same
a
boat,
flash
but-
flood, a fire, which is a very real hazard in a woodworking environment.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. You have a problem with rebuilding.
I would face total loss. I would recoup insurance money, but it would not be enough for me to rebuild,
That's right.
replace the equipment.
Yeah,
What we're talking about is in the case of any kind of natural disaster, I would face almost total destruction of the business. We would be losing a 30-year company that has built a name all over the Southeast.
Yes.
That's
But
correct.
you would
That's
not be
correct. That's
losing
okay.
property that has no value. As we just pointed out, all property in the city has
Well,
value.
The
And
building,
your property, yeah,
the
you would lose the building.
the building would have no value. The property would of course have value.
Right, have no industrial commercial value. If you look at it.
Right. But then you need somebody to come in and level it and everything else, and I'm not sure.
Usually that's handled in the insurance on a natural disaster like that.
All right, guys, so is there any more questions
Cool.
for this discussion?
Jeremy, I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Any more discussion?
Do we want to hear from planning board president or Jeffrey, you're here? Is there any other comments from the board planning commission that?
Well, the discussions that you guys have had are similar discussions that we had last week, and the fact that grandfathering this in allowed the business to operate as it is, and with the unfortunate circumstances with what is entitled with the I-1, will really could potentially put things in there that will even be further contradictory to what the area we really wanted. We had a commercial corridor there, and the distance away from the commercial corridor doesn't work either. So we made recommendation to deny it because we couldn't fit in. So it's a difficult situation. That was our decision.
In reading y'all's decision, I saw a mention of medical marijuana. Could Mr. Jeremy or anybody speak to that?
I'd be glad to if you'd like to ask any questions about it.
Yes, sir. How is this a part of the conversation, since you were talking about how you weren't planning on expanding or anything like that?
Not expanding, but having a different company with another line of income. When we bought the building, Skipper had been hoarding for 30 years, right? So every wall you looked at was covered in scrap, covered in lumber. He had unused equipment. He had equipment that wasn't working. So we've been working for 18 months of clearing all that out and getting organized. What it has done is it's created some unused square footage, all right? Now with that unused square footage, anybody that's paying the rent wants to make the most money out of what they got. Now, medical marijuana, building shower pans. Skipper in 2000, don't get me telling the story. Skipper years back started ITS, Innovative Tile Solutions, a completely different company than Ash Millworks. Existed in the same building. They built custom shower pans. There was no effect to the community besides he had another line of income coming out of the same building. We looked into the possibility of using some of that square footage possibly for medical cannabis. But at the same time, I looked on at putting a back porch on my house last year and couldn't afford that either. We can't say for certain what we want to do. Skipper still's got the patent on some of that shower pan technology. We might be interested in manufacturing some of that. We might be interested in growing medical cannabis. We don't know yet. That's the future. What I came today is just about keeping Ash Millworks going. That's my main concern. But as far as medical cannabis goes, 71% of the state voted on it. I personally believe that this is medicine that helps people. It's discreet. It doesn't have a storefront. There's no access for customers. There's no wrongdoing going on. It is absolutely a pharmaceutical company.
Cool. Good deal. Thanks, Jeremy. All right.
I appreciate your email, kind of laid out, that was very persuasive. I gave you a lot of background, so I appreciate that.
Not a
Like, I
problem.
didn't realize that where we're sitting at was done by National Work.
Not persuasive enough, was it?
Well, I'm saying that it was very important. Like I said, unfortunately, you're in a minefield.
Right.
Situation that you didn't create.
Well, honestly, guys, I didn't really expect any opposition at all to this. When I submitted the application for rezoning, I thought it was just a goof by the city. It didn't get rezoned properly in 2003. I didn't understand that it was going to be of such vital importance to the community, or I would have started this by reaching out to them.
Well, it is, it's a learning process.
Yeah.
We only do this one time, so I appreciate, like I said, coming. Like I said, we don't know what we don't know until we open up the doors. And like I talked to the Forest County tax assessor about the difference of residential and taxations and all that, because there's numbers that don't make sense on that. So like I said, I appreciate you reaching out and educating us, because like I said, it's a minefield here stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Thanks, Jeremy. Already got a motion and a second. How do I say this?
All in
Request to
favor of denying?
All in favor of denying. All in favor of denying? Got a motion and a second. Okay. Any opposed? Alrighty, seminars and travel, number 13, request from Michelle Strebeck to attend Municipal Court Summer Conference in Biloxi on June 27th through the 29th. Total cost of $1,030 and 13 plus mileage. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Request for the following to attend the 91st Annual MML Convention in Biloxi, June 27th through the 30th. And I'm not going to read all those out, but if y'all got it, it's for mileage and for hotel room. Motion and a second. All in favor? Number 15, and Amy's going to probably correct my pronunciation here, but request for Amy to attend BOAM Conference in Gulfport, June 12th through the 17th. Total cost $451. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second discussion.
What is the proper pronunciation? Amy?
BOAM.
BOAM. Okay. You're a leader in that, aren't you?
I'm a director.
Okay.
I'm board of directors for it.
Awesome.
Whoop-de.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 16, request to review amendments. Should we say it like that?
Yes. We're
To
just putting it under review.
Review
We'll adopt it
amendments
next
to
time.
ordinance 2012, the rental housing ordinance. Is there a motion?
Motion. Discussion. So if we approve this, we're getting ourselves homework. basically?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, just wanna make sure.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, request to amend the ordinance. Man, we did that back in 2009.
Yep.
Garage sales. Is there a motion?
Like to make the motion for discussion.
Second for discussion? Okay, go ahead. This is actually, obviously, everybody comes up here and gets their little permit from City Hall to do a garage sale. And what we initially done back in, I can't believe it was 2009, but what we originally happened is,
We probably didn't do the fee then. There's probably an amendment somewhere.
anyway, so it may not have been 2009. What happened is we had some neighbors that were having the year-round garage sale. Well, you can imagine the neighbors didn't like that. So that was the reaction to that. And at one point we had a $5 fee to get the permit to did that. Well, we got rid of the permit fee. And then now you just get to come get a permit. So what ends up happening, if somebody wants to skirt the ordinance, they just do what they're gonna do. They do it on a Saturday. Carrie's not working on Saturday. So the person that's following the rules has to have the trouble of coming up here, and there's red tape for the person doing it the right way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This basically gives us enough teeth, so if the year-round guy wants to start back up in business, that will allow us to still go in there and prevent that from happening, but at least allow the folks that are doing it the right way to not have to come down here and get red taped by us. So anyway, we can make changes to it, look at it any which way we want to. My basic mission was just to get rid of the permit part of it, but at least give us a little thump to go back in there and take care of complaints.
Actually, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I introduced this to a couple of close friends of mine and got the reaction from it, and also my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And, me and my wife were in a situation where we thought we were going to have a full-time garage sale next week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was upset about that. And this is one of the things that actually made me feel better. And the way you're rewording this, it adds a lot of security to that, because nobody wants too much of that. When it starts changing traffic flow and parking issues on the street, and we've all seen it happen. And the city's done good about fixing it. So I do like the changes, and I will just say that I do feel that, or it's more of a wish that the city somehow did know what was going on and where, and that our police force was able to walk in if necessary and say, you don't have a permit, this is shutting down right now. And I'm concerned that even though I do like the stronger language at the end of this, where I believe it says 1 or 3 month period, I like that a lot because I've never had more than that many yard sales.
Yeah.
If we said 1 a month, that's 12 yard sales a year. That's odd. And unwanted. But I'm worried that we're losing a legal tool that our law enforcement may be using. I'm concerned about that. I don't know a lot or how to answer that exactly. It's just a concern.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think anytime we're really dealing with like a Saturday, if something gets out of hand, I don't know that we've ever shut anybody down on a. I'm trying to think. I think we went and shut down the person that this was initially aimed at. And then kind of like 09.
Okay.
We sent such a strong message that they haven't done it since. But anyway, that was one of my concerns as well. I like I said, I mainly wanted to get rid of it. That I see so many people sitting in my office coming in to get get that, and we're not getting paid for it. It's actually taking up time from our personnel up front to come up there and do that. So it's kind of unneeded red tape on that side of it. But if anything does get raised to a level, we always tell folks to call our police officers. They'll go over there and take care of whatever they need to take care of if it's getting out of hand. And especially if it's something that's going to be a multi-day event, like, okay, you've been having this garage sale for 2 weeks. By then Carrie's back in the office on Monday. Then that's kind of come to our attention on our side.
Now, if I could just throw out another concern.
Yeah.
And this is based off of some conversations I've had with each of the board. It does say commercial, high density residential. It lists all the different residential levels, and it includes commercial. And so this is a restriction that I do agree with strongly. That if we have a commercial enterprise and we're out in the yard selling stuff routinely, that is not what we want here. And I do agree with that. But I want to make sure that, just for sake of transparency, that we know what we're agreeing to here. I most definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I think we had left it out at one time, and I got a phone call from, like, I've got the little insurance agency there. What if that's a better location than my house? What if I wanted to throw hey, we're taxpayers too. I should be able to throw but not for the next 3 weeks. But and so I think we tweaked it at some point where we added commercial folks if they could. But at the same time, I don't think from a commercial standpoint, in my location in that instance, that I should be, he's always got a car up there for sale. There's a line to that. If I'm running a car lot, from that standpoint, that's kind of outside of that.
The commercial was added to allow, like, how people have them up there at the bowling alley.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
And
Not
the other thing
saying
too,
you can't have a sidewalk sale if you're the business.
There's a good chance too that you could be running afoul of other ordinances as well if you're operating a business, quote unquote. So anyway, any other discussion?
So Mayor, really, like I said, this is complaint driven. I mean, that's the takeaway is that if you have a neighbor or if there's someone that's doing repetitive garage sales, that's what we're asking you to call that in, and then our appropriate police force will take measures, and they'll go down there and say, hey, this is your one time, and then the next time it's got to be 90 days from now, because it's once every 90 days. So we're asking for it's a community, policing ourselves here. But if you have a problem with that, call it in, and that's how we'll track that. So, like I said, it's once every 90 days.
Okay. Already got a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay. That'll go into effect in 30 days.
Miss Ada's got a question.
No, ma'am.
This one passed.
Y'all didn't know we did 2 comment sections in there. That's not on your agenda. We just make room for it. What you got, Miss Ada?
You have to have a written statement saying you can have it, or
What now? Are you talking about a garage sale? Yeah, you used to come in and get a permit. I mean, I like seeing people. I mean, it gets lonely up here sometimes, but
you can only have one.
Thursdays and Fridays, man, folks coming up here like
4
crazy.
times a year, Miss Ada. 4 times.
90 days.
But you have to have a permit every time you do it.
No,
Yeah,
ma'am.
in 30 days you won't.
We'll get rid of the permit.
Ever get a permit? Anybody?
I did.
They do.
Hey, I always.
Half of y'all are saying there's a permit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took the taser language out of there, so if you're having too many, we will not tase anyone. Yeah, definitely for two things, I believe. In the mayor's report, all I have is that Alderman Stringer will have the high honor tomorrow to take me over to the softball game. As you guys know, our girls softball team are South State champs. And by our next meeting, we'll have them in here and be giving them a state champ. It's just kind of a natural progression. But Alderman Stringer has the high honor of driving me over to that game. You are driving. Are you driving me? I sit in the back. I'm going to sit in the back seat. Huh?
If you need to ride, I'll ride.
That's right. That's right. Cut down on parking. But congratulations to them. We appreciate everything they've accomplished. But
Also mentioned 3%.
oh no, what?
Right way to throw away the.
Oh yeah, there we go. Right way to throw away is this Saturday from 8 to 2 at Bobby Chain Airport.
Paint,
Tires,
anything that you can't throw away.
Batteries.
Tires.
Anything the garbage company will not pick up, you will go away.
I have dropped off entire truckloads.
Hey.
They're just like,
Nothing is 3%. How good it was in that month.
Been out the department. Can I need the department head folks to close their ears? Who are you? Are you the only department head in here?
Yes.
Josh is here.
Josh, close your ears especially. You may already know this. This is an odd thing. Our 3% monies, you would always think December is going to be, that's your restaurant. You get the extra 3%. You always think December is going to be your big month. Actually, it was March so far. It came in $1,500 more than December did. So keep shopping pedal first. That's how we're going to get things done here, supporting our folks as much as we can. But that's all I got. I do need to see a need for a double executive session. One is going to be on a potential contract matter. Another is on some real estate. I've got a strong feeling that there will be no votes that take place once we get out of there. But anyway, there's a motion and a second to see the need. Okay. All righty, clear the room so we can.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Are we doing the trashes and
Thank
the
you.
paints? Trashes
Yeah,
and the
they-
paint.
Okay.
And so is, Creeks.
Let me go see what there. Yeah, I got.
Hey,
some other
Rocky,
folks
what
here.
am I gonna put is our reason for going into executive session for? It's
Real estate development matter, that's
Real-
allowed.
okay.
And then to consider budgetary matters that may affect loss of jobs. That's allowed
And
too.
budget matters that may
Can y'all leave y'all phone somewhere?
affect personnel.
Yeah, multiple personnel.
Okay, I'm gonna. What are we doing first?
Yeah. You have.
Huh? I'm not understanding your question.
Hey, somebody left salt in his bathroom. Got a name on it.
Oh, you mean the fees?
Alright.
It's not, look, it's not just me. It's like several of them. I don't know. I wanted to know why some of them more of those. And it may be classes.
Don't take care.
Yeah.
But the mayor has.
No.
I need a nap.
Righty.
Yeah, it's rubber. She knew what not to give him.
Yeah, all of the aldermen and me had the same higher cost, but.
You can stay in here
city
too. We're gonna get them
employees
next.
I don't know, like him.
We got cheaper hotel rooms.
Don't even lie like
We're
that.
at another hotel.
Come on.
For real.
Where are you at?
The Golden
guys.
Nugget.
I assume that this one will be quicker and we'll get Clearwater next. This one's a little easier. It should be a little easier. If Valerie will supply the gold shovels and we can do the groundbreaking.
Wake up, man.
I'm tired.
Steve's holding us up. Where'd she go?
She went to the bathroom.
She's only been meeting for 2 hours.
Right. We're struggling.
Old age sucks.
Mm-mm. I'm not gonna claim that one.
We've got to get to where that thing can get lowered down, or I'm gonna get red and not put seats there.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
can't
but see,
see.
I'm always like, and I'm used to sitting over there so you can see everything. And I'm always like, who's back there? It wasn't too bad. Randy and them didn't talk. I thought, oh Lord, they're gonna. I thought more of them would have signed up.
No.
We're waiting on Melissa.
I was waiting on Melissa.
How'd y'all want to start this? We can go ahead and start. I mean, she's not going to take notes for this. There she is right there. We're getting them
It's
second.
Oh, huh?
I assume this is the less complicated
Hang
deal.
on, I gotta get out of.
Are we still on YouTube?
You sit down.
Oh my
All righty.
gosh.
Let's see, myself and Valerie.